following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
Would you believe it if I told you that this series has never been to this track? For the first time ever tonight, the All-American Cup Series, 7 seasons strong, shows up at Bristol Motor Speedway, virtually on iRacing. And what a perfect weekend to do it, where we got 3 broadcasts from Bristol. We've got NASCAR racing from Bristol. We're going to wear Bristol out, and we're going to enjoy it while we do it. As we get ready to rock and roll tonight, it is the Volunteer 250 race number 7 of this All-American Cup Series presented by Harpoon Designs. I am the captain. We welcome you in on this Friday night. Hopefully you've had a great start to your weekend so far. Of course, Bristol, a track that was built back in the late 1950s. Believe it or not, its first race ever ran here was a caution-free race. That is a fact. Tonight, though, will we see caution-free racing? Chances are no. Matter of fact, chances are between now and the end of Monday night's race here on the Captain Esports Network, we could be looking at somewhere from 20 to 30 cautions total with all the league racing we have here at Bristol. But you know what? It's Bristol, and I think all that can be thrown out the window. You better have your tempers, well, outside the stadium here, if you will, and you better have your car ready to go here tonight, starting with 250 laps at this track known as the Last Great Coliseum. Of course, last week at Texas Motor Speedway, it was Matthew Weeks who went to victory lane in the 11-car Mountain Dew car with his new updated team, I guess so to say, as he brought his Pro Edge racing team into victory lane here last week at Texas Motor Speedway. And let's talk a little bit about this driver of this number 11 car. We got to have a little conversation with him earlier today. And, well, I tell you what, you want to talk about a guy who is motivated. Not only that, but he's got a very interesting information about himself. So, of course, I did the old 3 questions with him. I said, hey, tell me about you. And he said he's a huge anime fan, which a lot of video gamers are, in case you have not figured that out yet. He also raced go-karts on dirt growing up. So if he's ever been to Georgia, he might go down to Commerce there, and they have the dirt track there. Their Thanksgiving weekend, I think they do a big go-kart dirt race there, as I believe qualifying is about to kick off here. And last but not least, he's a massive music head. Now, we've heard of all different types. We've heard the metalheads that love rock music. We've heard of all the different the hip-hop fans, the country fans. So I asked him, I said, Matt, what do you call, a massive music head? And he said he listens to everything from Frank Sinatra to death metal. I'm assuming that Ronnie James Dio, All For One, let's see, George Jones, Merle Haggard, I assume all of them are in there too. So, good to know there what Matthew Weeks his interest and stuff like that. Good to know the 11 car. But yes, qualifying has officially begun, and qualifying presented by MH Designs. Of course, Mike Husby Designs. Let's get down to the track because qualifying is going to go by so quick here with these cars on the track. As a matter of fact, some of the cars have already logged laps. Mark Whitley on the pole with a 14:47 right now, which is pretty fast. Teller's up there in second. Let's go to Husby himself here. And let's watch his qualifying lap out here on track in the Gen 4 cars. As Husby is P8 right now. See Vincent Isabella about to come out on track. Kyle Hall out there. This half mile, a little over half mile oval. Of course, you used to have 36 degrees of banking, which was only second, by the way, in, as far as I know to knowledge, to Winchester, which gives me the opportunity to give our thoughts and prayers to those people there. Winchester is literally about an hour south of where I live now, here in Indiana. And that town got thumped, basically, by a tornado yesterday. I remember I was awake when the my weather radio kept going off yesterday for warnings left and right, and unfortunately, that town got thumped by a tornado yesterday. Apparently, the funnel cloud was hanging right over the racetrack, but it ended up touching down right just to the south and going down and destroying a good portion of that town. So, obviously, thoughts and prayers with those people. But for those who don't know, Winchester Speedway's banking is 46 degrees. This track used to be 36. Now, it is all of a progressive banking from 24 up to 28. So, most of the cars have qualified. Mark Whitley right now on the pole with a 14:47. Heller, Isabella, Stephen Henning, Jackson Van Pelt. Now, tonight we should mention it is a dual pit road. So, of course, iRacing about a couple of years ago released a, as Nick Leo goes P4, good lap for him, updated Bristol where everything is one pit road like it is in real life. Well, you still have the choice to run dual pit roads. So you're going to see an old school pit road tonight where Nick's going to wreck here off turn 2, I think. His back end was coming around. And he must have because the camera didn't move. So basically, starters 1 through 22 will be able to pit over on the front straightaway. 23 on back will pit on the back stretch and only enter and exit on those pit roads. It will not have to wrap around the whole entire track. Like you see in real life now, as Casey Carrington, the boss man, on track. As he just crosses the start-finish line, diamonds it, brings it down off the banking and to the start-finish line. He is up to 5th right now, 14.6. Needs to get a 10th and a half to get up to Whitley. Yeah, Ty, I couldn't remember where you were. You said just north of you, so yeah, it's definitely not cool. I trust me, I was looking down to the south from, I was home at that moment. I just went and taken a nap as Weeks goes up to P3 with his lap. And he's going to abort right there. So right now still looking at the pole sitter being Mark Whitley as Miles gets across the line. And Miles goes P12. Telder, I did not see where he slided in. 15th, it looks like, for him. And only one car left to qualify, and he's not going out on track. So it looks like Mark Whitley will win the Mike Husby Designs Pole Awards. Congratulations to him as we go trackside for the National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Crusaders, that star-spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, back we are. Great job with the national anthem as the warm-up has begun. Hoping these guys go down pit road and see where their pit stops are, because that is going to prove pretty interesting here if they don't look and see what pit stall they can be on. Could be an interesting factor here tonight. Let's take a look at the schedule and where we are right now. It's week number 7. Of course, this race was supposed to be where Pocono is crossed out, but after a couple rough races, it was moved back a couple weeks and actually fits in perfect with the way the NASCAR schedule actually is right now. But you see Bristol in the next week. Konnichiwa. We head to Japan for Twin Ring Motegi Racing. Charlotte Motor Speedway on the 5th. Road Atlanta, Talladega, Iowa, Dover, and the Old Atlanta to finish it out right before Mother's Day weekend. That is where we sit right now with Season 7 schedule. Point standings entering tonight. Joseph McWhorter, who, by the way, is not here tonight because he is serving a suspension from the league for an incident that happened at Pocono. He is 12 points ahead of Casey Carrington and likely to lose the point lead when this thing is over with, but he's in pretty good position where he'll still be able to fight for it when it's over with. Carrington, Isabella, Whitley, Miles, your top 5. Weeks, Heller, Justin Thompson, another driver out tonight. They're in the 8th position. Steve Ritter, Nick Leo, your top 10 entering the points. But as you know, this is still just a halfway point of 14 races here in season number 7. Team points. It has been the Driven Motorsports with HDR crew who have dominated this season, which is Heller and, of course, McWhorter. Not Heller, I'm sorry, Whitley and McWhorter, who have dominated. They're 41 points ahead of CX2, so Casey Carrington, his guys there at 2nd. Pro Edge 3rd. TI fell to 4th in 25-11. That there with Heller, and also Barkuski and others there in the 5th position in points. Rookie of the Year standings, Vincent Isabella leading by 1 over McWhorter. Steve Ritter there in 3rd. Thompson and Wesley Donaldson, who's not here tonight, in the 5th position there. Manufactured points, Chevy continues to lead Dodge, Pontiac, Toyota, and Ford in the standings after 6 weeks. So Ford, a lot of work to do for the Blue Ovals entering this race here this evening. All right, so we talked about Matthew Weeks a little bit ago, and he should be here. He is not in that chat, so he must be in another Discord here tonight. I was going to talk to him a little bit, but he not here. So with that, got a few options here to talk to. You know what? Let's bring up Davis. I haven't talked to him, I don't think. Davis Warren, you got a copy?
Hey, yeah.
Surprise. Hello. Hi. Yeah. Hi. Welcome to the broadcast booth, by the way. I'm not sure if we've talked in the booth before, but I wanted to get you up here and talk about Bristol. First trip for this series here. Of course, you're on and off, when it comes to the schedule and when you're able to race, but you're here tonight. How are we feeling about this 70 car?
Not great right now. It's
not too good.
Not too good at the moment, but we'll get there. It's a long race. So, she's 250 laps. I'm just not seeing that. Yeah, we got a lot of time to get this thing figured out. Yeah. No, we'll get it figured out. It's just it's a little tight right now, but we'll adjust.
Absolutely. Are you feeling tight all the way around the track, or just certain grooves, or maybe just the way you're driving the car?
It's most likely how I'm driving the car. That's usually the common denominator of all my issues. So we'll have to adjust on that front.
Davis Warren, the 70 car tonight. Looking forward to maybe talking to him later. He's got a little struggle right now, but he's got plenty of laps to get to the front, man. Best of luck, bud.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Davis Warren, appreciate him for joining us. And if you have ever gone to Trade & Paints and you download some AI paint schemes and stuff for AI racing or whatever, you have more than likely downloaded Davis's stuff. Big shout out to him for all that hard work he puts into that. Davis, what channel are you in, by the way?
Oh, I'll drop down.
He'll move himself. So, all right, let's go to the grid while Davis moves himself to his room, and let's get you the starting lineup here for the Volunteer 250 at Bristol Motor Speedway. The last great Coliseum Mark Whitley going to be on the pole. Christopher Heller on the outside, 14:47. Good lap there for the 77, who continues his role here in the series. Matthew Weeks, last week's winner from Texas, and Vincent Isabella looking to get his first win in the series there in fourth. Nick Leo and Tennessee driver Casey Carrington, the owner, starting P6. Last time we were in the state of Tennessee, it was a Nashville victory, I believe, for that sixth-place starter. Stephen Henning, been fast all weekend here at Bristol. Jackson Van Pelt there in eighth. Kyle Ethier, Austin Bloom in row 5. Row 6, Mike Mallon, who I believe is a new driver in the series, with one of my favorite paint schemes potentially. Anytime you have Buc-ee's on the car, you get my approval. Stephen Miles will start on his outside. Row 7, Mike Husby, Zach Rogers, Matt Telders, Jake Panowski in row 8. Jonathan Smith, Sean Cassidy in row 9. Row 10, Jordan Owens and Dylan Rosenberg. Nick Terrell, Kyle Hall, those will be the 22 guys you will see in the front stretch pits. And then backstretch pits, Josh Canyon, Brian Delph, Nick, we already mentioned Terrell, Justin Ray, Josh Dillon, Stephen Melnick, Davis Warren, Craig Martin, Chris Lewis, Steve Ritter, and Colin Curlis, the 32 starters. And it looks like Ritter actually did not grid, so not sure if he's having some issues. But hopefully Ritter can get out there on the track here tonight. 72 degrees, 20% humidity, cloudy skies. 250 laps here this evening, which is a little over 125 miles on this 0.52 mile track, which track temp is at 91 degrees, sitting in the Appalachian Mountains. Over in the Tri-City area of Tennessee, there's a Bristol, Tennessee. There's a Bristol, Virginia. We're in Tennessee, but I know of people that go to Virginia are from that area. Hello, Peyton Johnson, by the way. As we come to the green flag for the first ever All-American Cup Series race at Bristol Motor Speedway. I hope you have your popcorn ready because it's about to get going. Green flag, here we go. Our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. And as quick as you can blink, one lap in the books. Everybody kind of being patient. As Stephen Miles ripping the top side already. He's the outside of that Kyle Petty car. As, Stephen Henning goes around. And he gets T-boned and more, reckon. Bristol's a self-cleaner. Brad Delph involved. I think Craig Martin. Henning, who I just talked about being one of the fastest cars in practice. Josh Dillon is torn up. Good morning to you, Mr. Nakagawa. And caution out for the first time. We're going to have those tonight. Let's see, what happened to the 26 here? I was just mentioning the Brawny 45 car right there in front of him. Goes into the corner. Okay, here, Miles goes to the top side here of the 45, tries to go around him. And not sure if he got tagged or went around. There goes bam, bam, bam. Nick Terrell with damage. Oh, add Curlis to the list. Add to 38, Stephen Melnick with heavy damage. I mean, you're going so fast that it is hard to stop the car. Let's crash cam this thing. .26. Oh, he got in the inside or outside wall. Tried to pull it off the wall. The back end come around. And bam, bam. I mean, he just takes some licks. Lewis does a good job getting around it. Craig Martin gets his car stopped. The caution number 1. All right, so let's show you the pit roads real quickly here. Front stretch pit roads over here to the left. Back stretch pit roads over here on the right. So you see the cone right here to where the cars are going past right now. That is where they exit, obviously, the front stretch pits, and they have to go all the way around. There's a blue cone sitting at the top up here by the wall. Right here where the Sunoco sign is off turn 2, right there where they're passing now. That is the exit to the front stretch pits, where the entrance of the back stretch is here and goes all the way around. There's a cone at the far side over at turn 4, where those on the back stretch will have to come around and pit from there. As for now, we're about to go back racing already. Cautions are going to go quick. Pace car hangs a left as Mark Whitley leads them back to the green flag in the restart zone at lap number 7. There's that Buc-ee's car, that 29 I was talking about. If you've never been to Buc-ee's, you need to go check out their truck stop whenever you travel next time and get the brisket sandwich. You will not hate me later if you don't already. Watching Miles, watching Van Pelt, Zach Rogers there in the 4. Again, progressive banking here. You eventually want to get to the top. That is going to be the way around on the older tires. Though if you could save enough tire, you might be able to make some moves on the bottom to later into this run. 110 laps on a tank of fuel. However, according to reports, you're not going to make it that far on the tires. So you're going to need to get tires on this car pretty pronto. As look at this hornet's nest as Whitley is pulled away by a pretty good distance here. Top 4 have separated themselves out. And then once you get about 5th place Zach Rogers, that's where you see Miles and Carrington and Bloom and all these guys right here in this hornet's nest. This goes all the way back to 26th. By the way, this gaggle of cars. Telder's in that picture. He's actually pretty good here at Bristol, so look for that 10 car to maybe have a good run here tonight. Kyle Ether, Jonathan Smith back after missing last week. We ride with Jake Vanoski. Got to be a little patient with the throttle. Let the car roll through the corner here. Back to the throttle. Try to carry that topside momentum with the higher banking. Again, 24 down at the bottom, 26 in the middle, 28 at the top. They did that back in the mid-2000s to try to create side-by-side racing. Of course, it's been mixed with a lot of reviews, more negative than positive. Obviously, the negatives are the ones like myself who were just used to the old Bristol where you sat at the bottom and you had to beat and bang to get positions, where now it's more of a side-by-side racetrack. As we go up front, Whitley already starting to come up on some lap traffic to 14 of Brad Delph as Herring comes back out of the pits. He is some 14 laps down right now. Isabella and Heller here, third and make that second and third. Isabella just trying to get a little bit of a run there to try to get around that 8 car, but the party's back here. There's Josh Gagnon, the 79, Chris Lewis, the 111, the 49 of Sean Cassidy. Oh, Lewis almost taking 3 wide there. Probably not a good idea right now. And caution out, caution. Looking for it. It's not telling me where it's at. Caution somewhere. Was it for Brad Delph, maybe? Yeah, Delph jumped to the pits here, so I think the caution's for Brad. Let's see what happens to the 14 car, the Snap Fitness car. He's okay there. Oh, right up there. Who is that? The 7 of Vanoski? That might be a caution right there. Sometimes you just have to look around a little bit. There's Davis Warren. That is not Vanoski. There's Vanoski. He and Telder get together, it looks like. Wow, Vodowski dealt her the bumper. Nice save by both of them. Should have much damage, but not. That's interesting. I mean, they both were entering the corner the same. I think at this point in the race, you wouldn't put the bumper to somebody, and I'm not entirely sure that was intentional, but, you know, that, still, you go into the corner in the same lane and you run over the guy in front of you, it's unfortunately your fault, so I think Vinowski will get penalized for that. Now, there is no admin tonight here at the race, but they are keeping track of the wrecks and stuff. They'll review them and put the proper penalties on drivers here, I think, after the race or whatnot. Big shout out to the viewers here tonight. Who we got? Oh, I thought we were over 20 at one point. So appreciate you guys watching here. Hopefully you're enjoying the broadcast here this evening. Let's see who we got here. Rachel Reed's joining us tonight. Deanna Warren, the wife of Davis. I have to think about that every time. Who's your tie? Of course, watching. And then you might see the YouTube chat. There's a one person that put some writing. I'm not sure if it's Japanese writing or what writing it is, but I was translating it, and it's a gentleman named Michihiro Nakagawa saying good morning to us. So, over from across the mom. You would think I would remember this, asking this like 635 times, right? Sorry, Mom. Mom knows best. All right, pace car pulls off. Lap 25. We go back green. And note that later on in this run, you are going to see cars spinning the tires. So that is going to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on, especially those who maybe try to start in second gear. Probably more idea to go third gear on the restarts. Oh, Husby getting a little loose back there. Did he spin it? He saved it. Good save by the 19. Whitley out to a 4/10 of a second lead already. Yes, believe it or not, I'm able to fit drones in this place. Nick Leo, 9th position here. Oh, cut that outside wall a little bit. Got loose going into the corner. Got to be careful of that. There's Vinowski. Going to take the position away, slide up. And, of course, if you get some give and take, you can make passes on the bottom. It's just a matter of give and take. You can get that momentum off the corner, and you can hold the bottom lane off. But you're in lap 30 of a 250-lap race here. Speeds up to about 140, if not 150 miles an hour into turn 1 and 3. These guys just don't want to break apart. Daniel gets the wall. Looks like Ray might have gotten the wall. As Carrington going to clear the 29. For the 12th position, or for now. Is it Malin, I believe it's how it's pronounced? Continues to make passes. Here he goes to the outside. Davis Warren said his car's struggling. Yeah, he's up to 14th. Call him bluff. Started all the way in the back. I believe Jimmy Spencer won a few Bristol races in that yellow paint scheme. Not exactly paint scheme. Similar sponsor. Isabella has gone by. Heller for second. Here comes the 56. Climbing the boards here. Oh, trouble in the back. Gagnon's turned around. Justin Ray with some heavy damage. And caution 3. All right, let's see how this one transpires. Roll that beautiful bean footage. '79. Uh-oh. Did Lewis get Gagnon again? Oh, and more contact there. Kyle Hall getting some damage. Might have to crash cam this one. I say that because Tuesday night in the league race, Gagnon got ran over coming to pit road by Chris Lewis. Lewis gets to his outside. And gets a little free and hooks him. Yep. Kyle Hall gets a little bit of damage to his rear, and then Justin Ray obviously with tons of front end damage. So easy to do when you feel like you're in tight quarters is to pull your car down off the wall. And unfortunately, again, you're in tight quarters. Not saying that, Chris obviously got into Josh and hooked him, but it's so easy when you're in the car to just kind of turn your wheel left a little bit there and get free and turn to 79. You can see there Lewis was already kind of loose coming off the corner, so it is what it is. Caution number 3 on the track. Let's jump back while we are slow here for a second. Give me a second. I'm rolling through my highlights, and as soon as I find it, I'll give it to you. The pass for second. Here we go. Oh, Heller got the outside wall, and at that point just kind of yielded it. And then Isabella able to slide up and take the spot. And during that run, he was actually running laps faster than the leader at that point. So at 56, looking pretty good here. So this is the first new track on the schedule, by the way, since season 4. And the first trip at that track, that was the previous new track on the circuit, is the track we're going to next week, Motegi. Twin Ring Motegi is what we historically know it as. Of course, it does have a new name to it. Look it up real quickly and give you the actual name. It is now called the Mobility Resort Motegi, as the green flag comes out. Back at it again, 42 laps in. Casey Carrington back there with Craig Martin. There's Lewis back there in the 13th position. At 45 is Austin Bloom, by the way, in the Kyle Petty paint. Zach Rogers and Matt Telder battling for the 5th position here. As mentioned, that 10 car, that guy knows how to get around this track. He's had a couple of wins here in this in another series that he could have had at this track before some circumstances took him out. Just don't mention it to him because he still, I think, kind of heard about it. Kyle Ether struggling a little bit with Jackson Van Pelt. That battle for 16th here. We go higher up here as the 9th position with Vanoski, Leo, and Stephen Miles. And it's just close racing everywhere. Brantley Roden watching tonight, and of course, spotting for his driver Whitley there. And of course, the owner of Harpoon Design, the sponsor of the All-American Cup Series. As you see, as the tires have worn out, you see a lot more of the cars to the top side of the track. That is where you get the momentum and get the run, especially as this car tightens up. Vanoski up into the outside wall. The trick at this track is you want to enter in the center. You do not want to enter the corner high like you would say at Darlington or something. I almost got bad. Vanoski got the outside wall. Where you enter right across the, or pretty much up against the wall the whole way, or Homestead. You want to enter center, slide up to the top, and then even bring it down to the center, almost like a diamond, a small diamond, if you will. Justin Thompson checking in tonight also. Fortunately not in the race this evening. As we ride with Zach Rogers now off turn 4. Kind of interested to see how the dynamic is this week at Bristol in real life. Of course, the black wall that you see here is no longer black. It is to the old traditional red and white colors, like the old Winston days. Jackson Van Pelt blinking out at the wrong time. As the conveyor belt about forms. But 56 laps in the books here at Bristol. You see the battle. This is the 11th place battle. As you see the 29 of Malin as Carrington getting under Lewis. They're racing tight here. Vanoski hitting the wall again. It's always a scary situation. .59 laps complete as Whitley continues to lead. We're watching the battle now for 7th as Davis Warren, Jonathan Smith, also Telder, all these guys right here. Nick Leo, Stephen Miles all joining this battle. Warren to the outside of Telder. I kind of wonder if he was playing games with me there. He said his car was struggling. I mean, this guy's up to the 6th position now. I'm going to call his bluff here after the race. Whitley has stretched out his lead to 1 second now over Isabella, who's got a second over Heller, who's got a second over Weeks. And then there's this battle right here behind Weeks as they go around the lap car. Josh Gagnon with that nose damage. As Warren up to the 5th spot. And I think I might know why now Warren is fast. I peek over here, and he actually pitted under the lap 38 caution. So he's got fresher tires. That's why he looks so fast. Fool me, Davis. A couple other cars have pitted here, obviously, with these couple of cautions we've had. But only 1 leader so far, all 65 laps led by Mark Whitley. hold on there. As they go around Stephen Melnick, putting him a lap down. Melnick, unfortunately, yeah, that's his first lap. He's lost here. 3 wide back here. Kyle Hall, Lewis, and these guys here. Some contact. 29 with a save. And then he gets hit again. Apparently people don't like Buckies. Malin taking some licks here. This all started. I mean, he took a couple thumps there. Lewis just sends it in there and moves him. Wow. And then he, well, yeets himself. That's never good. And Lewis is unfortunately just missed timing where he enters the corner there. As here comes Davis with the 4 fresh tires to the bottom. Pitted again at lap 38, which is about 34 laps ago. Let's see if Davis can make this move. Yeah, that was a fantastic save, Justin. Good call on that. And this is the only way really to defend fresh tires is put yourself up there on that top side and defend. Davis got the coolest tires off here just a little bit. While that cools down for a second, Colin Curlis back here. The 91 of Rosenberg. Kyle Hall is trying to Ross Chastain 1 and 2. Joking, obviously, wasn't really doing that. The 20 of Jordan Owens back there behind him, and then the 49 of Cassidy. As we start to settle into a rhythm here, saw a couple of cars go to pit road for long pit stops. I think Vanoski, looks like Craig Martin's on pit road for a long stay. Josh Gagnon. So I'm not sure if they are having overheating issues maybe with damage or whatnot, or just not sure, unfortunately. As finally I move the camera off of Davis and he takes the lead from Whitley. Let's show you the pass by the 70. And looks like he took advantage of a lap car. Sure did. That's another way to make a pass here. Whitley doing a good job being patient, just letting the pass happen, and knows that he'll be able to fight another day here in a little bit. Austin Bloom trying to get around Leo, the 69 car. As Martin now leaves pit road, I believe. No, he's actually coming back to pit road, so must have still some damage that needs worked on. So 81 laps complete, longest run we've had so far this evening. In the Volunteer 250, it's race number 7 of the All-American Cup Series presented by Harpoon Design. There's 2 early cautions so far in this race. Otherwise, seems to have settled down here, which is cool. Always happy when I see green flag racing at Bristol. As Matthew Weeks falling back now, maybe has worn the tires out a little bit there. He's falling back from 4th to 7th now as Telder goes by. There goes Carrington and the 9 going by. You get your comers and goers in this series. In a race like this, you can get that car too tight from just pushing too hard. remember, a lot of these cars have not pitted yet, so we're getting to a point here where Davis Warren, where Jordan Owen, Sean Cassidy, Kyle Hall, Nick Terrell, those guys who pitted earlier in this race under the yellows might find their ways a couple laps ahead of the rest of the field, because we might have green flag pit stops coming up here in a minute. And if that happens, thankfully there's single pit stops, basically front and back stretch, the dual pit roads, because you're looking at the opportunity here for track position. But let's see if we get to that point. You hear them almost parking the bus in the corners now. So Heller and Miles have moved up to third and fourth as Isabella's fallen back. And now a battle between Carrington and Telder. Zach Rogers right in front, as I think Telder just kind of moved over and let Carrington go. I'm not sure if Carrington got the run to his outside or whatnot. Telder might be suffering with that rear damage a little bit. A track that people who have been here say that you actually have to take your time getting your hearing back, because it is in a valley. Of course, as I mentioned, the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Appalachian Mountains, that whole region of mountains in that area. This track actually sits in a valley. So, and the cars sound like thunder, hence why it's called Thunder Valley. Carrington gets around Rogers. We'll see if Telder can do the same. Let's check back here. Jonathan Smith, Jordan Owens in the 20 car. And Cusby the 19. Speeds have fallen off almost a full second and a half during this run. And this is one of those tracks you do not want to pit early. You want to wait as long as you can go before you come to pit road. Actually, I think we're about to have our first car come to pit road. Vincent Isabella dives off onto the front straightaway pits. He goes, crosses that line. And this will be our telltale right here. How many laps will you lose coming to pit road? Get a camera on Vincent. There we go. More tires and fuel for the 56. He's going to feel like Superman out on the track. Telder coming to pit road here, lap 99. Pit speed limit 35 miles an hour. There's the exit. You loop all the way around here to the blue cone. You don't want to spin it there. Right there. And you do not want to hit this cone. Apparently there's a glitch in it. So Telder, 4 tires and fuel for him. And just seeing, it looks like you lose 2.5 laps. Almost 3 laps. Mrs. Heller, hello. Yeah, we're good where we are. Obviously, just to the south of us, Winchester got thumped pretty good. But I was able to see the storms from where I was. I could look down to the south and see the clouds, and my weather radio was going all bonkers while I was trying to take a nap, and I was like, yep, I'm awake, don't worry. There's Heller and Miles As Matthew Weeks comes to pit road, last week's winner from Texas Motor Speedway. Again, 35-mile-an-hour speed limit for him. And a very interesting signboard I just noticed. Four tires and fuel for Weeks as he pulls away. Looks like a 15-1 for him. Telder is 16.7, so he obviously looks like might have slipped to his pit stall or something, according to Gagnon. Others on pit road. Yeah, good to hear that everything worked out for you there. I know some areas in Ohio got thumped pretty good, too. As Heller, Rogers, Husby all come to pit road. There's your leader right there. Of course, you see he pitted at lap 38. You see where everybody is pitted in the cycle here. 96, 97, you got 105, 104, all this to the right. The times in the middle, those are the pit times on all of the cars. Oh, somebody spun. That's Lewis, I think. That is spun over here in turn one of them. And we stay green. As Kyle Ethier, Mark Whitley, and others come to pit road here. See if I can get you the Lewis spin here in a second. Dylan Rosenberg on pit road. Smith, a lot of these guys all coming in. And caution, there is the caution we were talking about. The guys who pitted just hit the lottery. The ones who pitted under caution, and Stephen Miles, you can add him to the list. Caution for Nick Leo, who has spun around backwards, and this just put a lot of people in a bad spot. And in a way, the field needs to be lucky that they did not have the single pit road, or else it'd be like 5 laps down right now. So as I'm seeing things here, we have 2 cars on the lead lap. Miles gets the wave around right there. So there's 3 cars on the lead lap, and we are about to have potentially the largest wave around in league history. Davis Warren get the backstretch pits to himself here. Let's see the replay of what happened here. Nick Leo goes to leave the pits. Oh, D-Dido, hospital hopping. Spins it around. Cold tires, basically, is what that comes down to. And he wasn't the only one that happened to. As caution comes out. As Jackson Van Pelt had to go to pit road, looks like he towed. And he was not the only one that had issues here. Watch this. I thought Lewis went around somewhere. I thought I saw him spun around at one point. Oh, here it is. All right, so this is going to get interesting now. So Warren is still the leader, obviously. Sean Cassidy's come to pit road, right? They're the only two up here at the front of the field. Here's Vincent Isabella all the way up here at the pace car. So you're about to watch third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, who is the lucky dog, Stephen Miles, who's going to go to the back right now. So he'll start in the back, and then you're going to see all of these cars. I'm looking at least pretty much everybody in front of Davis Warren. See if I can get you a wider view of this and see who's in front of him. This might be the best way to... Okay, so Davis is in front of the pace car now. So all the wave around cars are coming around. And once this all recycles and get everything sorted out, we'll go back to green. And even then, this is going to look wonky. So if I'm seeing this right, we're going to have 6 cars on the lead lap. The 7th place car is right there, Nick Terrell, as the pace car pulls off, and Warren leads him to the green. As, like I said, this race just literally went topsy-turvy, right near halfway. These are the cars here that took the wave around as they battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. I mean, the only ideal strategy I can think of here for these cars that are a lap down now is let this race go about 25, 30 laps, get a caution, get these other cars to pit road, or get the leaders to pit road, and then the rest of the cars stay out and get the wave around. But right now, you got Isabella now that just took second. Telder's up to third, Heller up to fourth, Whitley to fifth. Sean Cassidy has fallen all the way back here to sixth now in the Georgia Tech car. And I guess the other thing you can do is hope for this race to stay green, and your lap cars, you get other cars lapped and you make passes. I don't know. There's interesting here as Telder falls back to fifth behind Heller and Whitley. If I stand corrected, Stephen Miles is actually a lap down in 16th now, so I thought he was back on the lead lap with that caution, but once everything cycled through and reorganized itself, that's where we sit here. As here's a battle for 12th with Mike Cusby and Matthew Weeks, and this is going to get tough now for me because obviously with the cars all mixed in, laps down, I have to kind of go find the battles as Colin Curlis knocks the wall down. Where's his PR club, by the way? They're not watching tonight? Weeks, last week's winner, back in the 13th position. As he lets a couple of those lead lap cars go by. There's Nick Leo, the caution that came out for him. Second and third right there, or third and fourth with Heller and Whitley. Here's Isabella, who's up ahead here in this Napa car. He is 3.4 seconds back of Davis Heller, which, by the way, 3.4 seconds at Bristol is a long time. There's Vincent coming out of turn 4. Davis is already in turn 1. As Zach Rogers, Nick Terrell, and those guys trying to get back on the lead lap the hard way here. I can only imagine what chatter sounds like right now in this race. Best thing I ever did this season was mute everything to where I could not hear any of the chatter in the race. Appreciate the viewers watching tonight. If you're enjoying the race, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new to the channel, we appreciate you coming back. 25 viewers. Like it. Appreciate it very much, guys. Thank you for spending your Friday night with us. Or with me, I should say. It's only me. Still got 100 laps, over 100 laps to go, 115 to be exact, and caution back out. Uh-oh, Matt Telder, Kyle Hall have gone around. And Telder with some heavy left side damage. Sleeps Jr., hello to you, by the way. Watching in chat, I noticed. Who else? Gagnon. Whoever I have not given a shout out to. The caution out from Matt Telder here. What happens? Kyle Hall gets into the wall right in front of him. They're still okay there. Oh, wow. Hall lost his momentum here, and Telder gets in the back of him. And he's going to get hit somewhere here. There it is. Stephen Melnick with the hit. I was like, somebody got him in the door. And that car is narrowed up in the front. All right, leaders are on pit road here. So this is the caution, I think. Well, no, because Sean Cassidy stays out. So that's going to keep cars a lap down. Let's watch this again. Hall just lost the momentum here. Had to get out of the gas coming out of the corner. And Telder, I mean, the momentum just carries him into him. Rosenberg with some contact too. And then here comes Melnick. Pow. All right, so now basically with Cassidy being the leader, Zach Rogers gets the lucky dog. So he'll be back on the lead lap. So anybody in front of Cassidy here is going to get wave rounds, which is about 10 cars. So I look up there for the pace car. I see Husby up there. Carrington. Looks like Terrell's the first car. So it looks like it'll be Nick Terrell. Chris Lewis will get a wave around. He'll still be another lap down. Austin Bloom, Casey Carrington, Mike Husby, Jonathan Smith, who's a couple laps down. Kyle Ethier, Matthew Weeks, Jackson Van Pelt a couple laps down, Stephen Miles, Dylan Rosenberg, and that'll be it. So we'll be up to 14 cars back on the lead lap with the wave round here that's going to happen here in a second. But Sean Cassidy leading laps here in what has become a wild race at Bristol. A Bristol race, if you will. We'll see if they wave the restart off here, allow these cars to get circulated back up here. Hayes car brings them through 3 and 4. Looks like we're going back green here, so Hayes car pulls off. And we're going to allow you to turn the audio up in Thunder Valley as we turn it up for Bristol. Vincent Isabella leading for the first time this evening, and it seems like Heller's been attached to his rear spoiler the whole entire race. Mark Whitley right there behind him in third. Davis Warren up to fourth. Sean Cassidy, as mentioned, was the leader on the restart there. Has fallen back to the fifth position. As I mentioned, up to 14 cars now on the lead lap. Dylan Rosenberg, your last one. We ride with Heller in the 8 car. Looking. Not able to make the move. Let's go back here. A little fight going on here with Ethier, Miles. And then you got the couple of lap cars here, Jonathan Smith and Kyle Hall, that are back at the 18th and 19th position. And believe it or not, they're battling for position. Dylan Rosenberg in there also. And they're trying to chase down Carrington up here in the 9 car, who is in the 10th position. Husby up to 9th. Terrell in that Taco Bell 81 car. Doing a solid job in the 8th position right now. Top 3 starting to get together here. So go around Craig Martin in the 22. Again, next week, we head to Japan and Twin Ring Motegi. Looking forward to a race on a very interesting track. It's a flat version of Darlington that's very wide and 1.5 miles. And it's going to have some high speeds down the straightaways, and you're going to be almost throwing the e-brake on going into some of the corners. But going to produce some good racing, and should be fun as we head out there to the land of the rising sun next Friday night at 8:15 Eastern time. The best part about that trip is we don't have to leave our computers. As Whitley clears Heller for second. Isabella trying to get through the traffic there, putting another lap on Kyle Hall. Looking for his first win here in the series. Check on Miles. He and Carrington battle now for the 10th position. Husby right there in front there in 9th. As they come up on Terrell, that's the 8th place car there, so good little gaggle of cars here now. If you've ever wanted to see what it looks like to be a fan at Bristol, if you've never been to this track, let me give you a couple of little looks here from it. I unfortunately have not made it to this track yet. It's on the list. Obviously looking from the front straightaway here. Watching Miles get around Husby now and trying to get around his teammate slash car owner slash whatever, Chris Lewis. And the other cam is if you're even lower to the track. As right back here is a battle for the lead. As Whitley trying to get his caution comes out for Jonathan Smith. Over in turn 3 over there. This is really going to crank up the pit strategies here. Goes into the corner. Oh, he got turned by the leader. It's always the odd point where you get turned by the leader and the guy battling for the lead with the leader is your teammate. Always an odd situation. As here comes some cars to pit road. Leader stays out. Second place stays out. As Whitley, 4 tires and fuel for him. See. It's always tough to pick people out to talk to in the race because everybody's like, a lot of people are in their other channels, so there's only like 3 or 4 people. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13 people to talk to in this channel. So we're going to grab one of them, and we're going to talk to the guy that's now P2 that stayed out, and that being Christopher Heller. Chris, you got a copy, bud?
Yeah.
Hey, man, so obviously staying out here at this caution, you, been racing hard out there. You and Vincent seem like you've been tied at the spoiler with each other there throughout the night, but been seeing some typical Bristol racing.
Yeah. I think I'm a little bit better than him on the long runs. The only way I'm going to be able to beat Whitley is if I go on a different strategy, so I think that's the plan here. I was able to drive through the field when all those wave around stuff happened.
Right, yeah,
So
that whole mess.
Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of banking on right now.
So he's going to have about 30 lap, give or take, obviously with a few caution laps in there, newer tires. So obviously he's probably going to blow your doors off here in a second. But how far do you think you go before you think it's the right time to put tires on?
Probably about 20-ish laps, probably.
Okay.
20, 25 laps, somewhere in there.
Well,
But
awesome.
if we get to like that 18 mark, I'll probably come in.
All right, well,
It
we'll
just
see.
kind of depends.
No, absolutely. We'll see what happens, and obviously glad you and family are safe. Obviously, I know it was kind of hectic in our area last night, but
Yeah, that stuff happened a little north of us. So.
yeah, understand.
So luckily we didn't get hit all that hard.
Yeah, no kidding, right? So, well, hey, all the best, and going green here, so good luck.
Yep, thank you.
All right, buddy. Christopher Heller running in the second position. Again, thoughts and prayers to everybody that suffered from the storms in the, if I can get him moved, there we go, in the Ohio area, Indiana, of course, down in the Winchester area, and of course in the other states too that have been savaged by them. I know Kansas got a tornado, I think a few over there. A lot of the Midwestern states getting thumped last night and hit pretty hard by these storms. As we go at green, lap 171. As I bring in one of our sponsors from another series, make sure you call before you dig. And power lines are underground, make sure you call 811. Just going to throw that out there. Mark Whitley, just like that. Newer tires, slides past second and first for the lead. Davis Warren back here. Zach Rogers, the 45, also in this picture now of Austin Bloom. Yeah, I don't know the exact towns here, Ryan. And by the way, as soon as I can, I'll get you a look at the 29 car. Yeah, pretty much right on the line. I don't know how far out in Ohio it got, but I know, like where I am, I'm in Fort Wayne, so obviously down in Winchester and across the state line. I know there were tornado warnings pretty much to the county to our south. From there down into obviously where Winchester is and so on and so forth. So that whole region kind of got, that little area there, I guess, got hit pretty hard by these storms. So Rogers losing position there as Jonathan Smith makes a unscheduled pit stop. Mike Cusby coming into the picture here, 177 in the books. As for the 29, as per asked, where is he at now? I know he was struggling a little bit earlier. I don't even see him anymore on my list. Where is he? Oh, there he is. 21st position. There he is. There's a quick look at your Bucky's car. An hour south of Cleveland. What are you, Mansfield? I've been up 71 so many times when I was driving to New York from Indiana the first couple of years when my wife and I were dating in 2 different states. Now you see the older tires starting to fall back now. You see Isabella is now falling back to 5th, make that 6th. You see Heller starting to fall back a little bit. Rogers going back. Rogers kind of surprised me. That's newer tires for that 4 car. Ooh, almost some contact with Rogers and Rosenberg there. Whitley already stretched it out 2.5 seconds over Warren. Austin Bloom having potentially the drive of his career. Yeah, Logan County. That was the county that got hit, wasn't it? I remember seeing that name. I don't know where Logan County is, but hey. Hey, a reminder of the Scalicast. You can check it out right now on Spotify, iHeartMedia, and of course, if you're in the Scala Discord, the Captain Discord, you can get the podcast from there now. Of course, 2 episodes this week as we're starting to split the episodes up. A race recap came out earlier in the week from the Phoenix Raceway and league stuff and so much more. We even had a nice discussion between the value of NASCAR tickets and IndyCar tickets as Telder and Miles and I discussed that. It was kind of an unexpected topic that came up, and we just had a good discussion about it. And then on the next episode, we talked with Jim Herrick, who is the owner of 40 Racewear. If you get a chance, check out his stuff. If you're looking for racing gloves for iRacing or even shoes, yes, racing shoes for iRacing, they're comfortable as hell. Check out 40racewear.com, and a big shout out for Jim Herrick for coming on and talking about his racing life and his entrepreneurship. As Stephen Miles has moved to 2nd. I actually have a pair of shoes behind me that I use for this sim when I race. I actually use them for the trucking sim. I know Telder talked about how he's actually used them at some go-kart places. I mean, we probably would not suggest to use them in a race car in real life because it's probably not the best of ideas. But the shoes are pretty comfortable. Make sure you check them out. 40racewear.com. Rosenberg, Rogers, a whole bunch of cars back here. Yeah, see, I don't know the counties well around here yet. I'm still learning, being new here. I'm used to the counties over towards like the central part of Indiana and western part where I lived before. So when it comes to county names in Ohio, I hear the names, I'm like gibberish. Rosenberg going to try to get it past Heller for 8th. Rogers, Terrell, Matthew Weeks in this battle here. As now we look at... I still seeing 14 cars on the lead lap. Whitley is gone. Here he is out here all by himself. Probably thinking about where he wants to go play his next round of golf at. Pretty good golfer from what I hear, what he's told me. So, anybody feel like this race has gone forever? The reason why I asked that, we're 196 laps in. We're about to hit lap 200. And I look over at my timing and scoring, and we've just hit an hour. into the race like 4 minutes ago. 250 laps at Bristol flies by like that. I remember, I still have the story. One of the league I used to run back in the heyday, USRC, a league I ran with my dad. Him and I found that league, and we had a truck race we ran at Bristol. We had like 18 people racing that race, right? 175 laps. We finished it in 45 minutes. Caution free as Terrell's going to get turned. He just got ran over literally off the corner. I promise you, he spun. There he is. I saw that car get jacked up on the camera, and I think it was more Terrell trying to slide up, and the momentum turned him. And that brings the caution out again. He tries to get to the bottom here. He's going to lose his momentum, and Weeks is carrying it here. And unfortunately, Terrell probably should have left the top open. And he gets turned. And yes, the rumors are true. When the Taco Bell car hits the wall, it does make the bong noise. So this is a caution that the guys who stayed out the last caution did not want to see, because obviously it was a long enough run where all the leaders have pretty much come to pit road. Except for Davis Warren, and Isabella's actually stayed out again. That's an interesting call. All right, now Isabella comes to pit road. I wonder if he missed pits, potentially. That's easy to do at this track. Get lost, not remember what pit stall or pit stop you're in, or pit road, so on and so forth. 56 is on pit road. He's going to lose some track position from that move there. I think Chris Lewis got the wave around, so I have 15 cars back on the lead lap now. And Davis Warren back to the front. Whitley's going to be second. Miles, Husby, Bloom, your top five. So one of the cool things about SimRacer Hub, by the way, which is the hub that iRacing, a lot of iRacing leagues use for updating stats, is we had a gentleman a couple of seasons ago take over and has updated this site so well. And what I mean by updated this site so well is the stats that it shows in here now. I mean, there are numbers in here now from average ratings to even counts the amount of corners you've made in your career in this series. Figure that one out. A lot of tracks are four turns. But as I click on this interesting stat right here, the highest average rating of drivers, and obviously I'm going to eliminate the drivers that are no longer in the series, but actively the best rating after after 58 starts belongs to Christopher Heller, 98.6 rating. Now, how do they come up with that? I don't know. But it's still a good number. Zach Rogers, 93.5 is right there. Brandon Barkuski, 89.2. And all those guys have made 40 or more starts, so a pretty cool stat there while we're under caution to share out. Deanna, you're going to probably take that comment back in about 3 seconds. Green flag back out, lap 204. As Mark Whitley going to yank the lead away from Davis just like that. Here comes Mike Husby. Stephen Miles, Casey Carrington up there. Oh, and around goes Miles. Weeks in a big wreck here. Isabella involved. Kyle Ether's in it. I think we have just witnessed another rare moment where Miles self-spun. I could be wrong, but let me look before I go any further here. That was a little bit of a slider on Casey going into the corner. Yeah, he lost the back end. Oh, man, tough break for these guys involved in going miles. He's going to feel terrible after that. Oh, he got loose right there on entry. Oh, and that car was gone. Well, I mean, it wasn't gone, but it was upset from that point. Weeks mentioned getting involved. So did Ether. Oh, and Craig Martin with a hello. Hey, no one's perfect, as we've learned. I mean, Carrington made a mistake a few weeks ago. But watch, this was interesting. Watch him as he enters the next corner. He goes to 1 and 2. Does, well, it looked like a slide at first, but it wasn't. Coming out of 3 and 4 and into 1 and 2. Watch right here. Bobbles. Bam. And he slides him up to the top, and then the back end just comes around. Back under caution at 2:08. Obviously, the car's in there getting damage. Oh, no, I misread your statement, Deanne. I thought you said, don't you need to pit. I thought you said you don't need to pit. I was like, wait, you might retract that. So for Ryan Applesider, I hope that's your actual last name. There's Mike Mallon in the 29 Bucky's car. Well, this is Malone. Somebody let me know what's the right way to say it is. Again, appreciate the viewers. I noticed we were 5 away as of tonight from 1,100 viewers. Ooh, I see we've kind of dropped, lost a few guys tonight watching, but do appreciate everybody who's watched and checked in here tonight. As Bristol's been Bristol, 40 laps to go, about to really get the show on the road here and see if Mark Whitley can go to victory lane for the 3rd time in 4 races, or will Davis Warren find a way to sneak a victory out as Whitley launches? Here we go. And you got the CX2 teammates right here, 3rd and 4th. Dylan Rosenberg trying to upset the apple cart in that 91 car. Matthew Weeks got his damage fixed after that contact. Car looks fresh and up to the 6th position as he goes around Carrington, as Whitley just ran a 14.64, fastest lap of the race. Ooh, Dylan shuts the door on that 11 car as he tried to get around. I might have to cross him up here. Oh, that almost got bad. Weeks around. And this is simply newer tires here at lap 199. Here comes Rogers as Davis loses 2nd to Mike Husby. Who's going to be the first winner in the first ever All-American race? I'm still shocked by this one at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Virtualand iRacing, thanks to Harpoon Design for sponsoring the series as always. You can check out one of his roughly 21,435,671 paints on Trading Paints. That's not an actual number, it's sarcasm. but he has a lot. And if you drive a Toyota paint scheme, likely as around goes Rosenberg off of Davis Warren. If you've driven a Joe Gibbs paint scheme on any of the stock cars, then you likely have run a Harpoon design paint scheme. Davis Warren with the old chrome horn to the 91 off the corner. And caution back out. Davis has had such a great run through the corner. And that brings more cars back to pit road. Weeks, Isabella, Ethier, and Miles. And obviously Dylan going to get damage fixed. Let's go on board with the 91 and see if you know what? Dylan lifted right there. You heard him had to get out of the gas just a little bit. I think he was scared he was going to plow the wall down. And unfortunately, the car with momentum, Davis just comes in there and shoot. Mike, you got a copy, bud?
Yep, what's up?
All right, man. So you got the same kind of tires as Whitley. Anything for him?
Honestly, I just want to finish this race after having like 5 straight weeks of bad luck, so I'd be happy with a podium if I can get it, but whatever kind of finish we can get here at the end would be a win for me.
Does that include the one race you drove the 12 car?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, surviving so far, and the car looks clean for now. I mean, what's it going to take to get to the finish here? Because I have a feeling the cautions might pick up here.
I think just stay out of trouble and hopefully you just maintain a pace in front of these guys. Hopefully don't get run over and we should be good.
All right, man. Well, hey, good job here so far, and hold on for the ride.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Mike Husby, as I think I just heard Whitley in the background say he's going to take the top. So... I think Deanna just put a clean version of "get out of the way when a train's coming through" line out there. It's the old why do I not remember what movie that is? That Major League 2? Oh gosh, what line is it? It's the catcher gets run over and the guy looks down. Get out of the way when the train's coming through. Or was it Little Giants? I don't know. The hell with it. Or as Telder and I like to joke around and say, we'll use the line, he shouldn't have been standing there. All right, coming back to the green, 27 laps to go. Let's see if we can clean and green this thing to the end. As Whitley, Husby, Davis Warren, Zach Rogers, Austin Bloom, your top 5. As Whitley launches from the bottom, by the way. I thought I heard him say he was going to take the top, but he ended up taking the bottom. Look at Zach Rogers to come back trailing that 4 car. Takes second. Warren's still going to probably wish he had newer tires here, though he's holding on. Matthew Weeks, a 14:54 just now, just ran the fastest lap on the bottom there. Here comes the 11. He's got the freshest tires right now, pitted at lap 219. Trying to get a second straight win, caution back out, and you see there's one car on its lid back there. And I think that's Jackson Van Pelt. And it sure is. Chris Lewis involved. Oh, Lewis losing the back end, and uh-oh. Tags the inside wall, and that's, of course, as always, is a catapult around here. Shoots him back up the track. Even the pace car is going to go through him. I saw Melnick with some damage. Huh. And I think the leaders have taken notes that Weeks had tires. And a whole bunch of them coming to pit road. I'll update in a second. Let's show you the wreck again. Yeah, the worst wrecks you can have here at Bristol are the ones where you hit the inside wall and it shoots you back onto the track. Lewis gets loose right there, overcorrects it, tail whips the wall, and shoots him back onto the track. He probably was going up there anyways. Van Pelt clobbers him, and then there's the 38 and 34. And Van Pelt actually ends up on his lid. Got it one more time here. Now I'm starting to wonder a little bit about the strategy for Davis. I would have think he would have been on pit road that time by. All right, so let's show you where everybody sits right now with pit stops. So Whitley pitted at 199. And then you got Weeks at 219, pitted at the last caution. Bloom at 207 came to pit road. Warren 167. Again, that one right there, I'm going to scratch my head a little bit about, because I would have thought maybe right here would have been a good opportunity to come to pit road, because now you got everybody behind him. 228, 228, 28, 28, 29, 30, all the way down here to 16th position that have fresh tires ready to roll. I mean, if he can get another caution, if it's not too late, he could restart back here, but he'd have to go back through the field. But I can tell you from personal experiences that the later you go, you will not make it back to the front. All right, going to try it again here. 19 laps to go. And don't worry, the 2-hour limit, nowhere near in trouble. We're good. Weeks this time does take the top side. I think what his plan was there was to get an early restart to try to get the 70 in front of the 11 with the older tires. And to try to get a good launch. As here comes Weeks now. And, oh, I thought we were thinking 3 wide here for a second. I mean, Bloom is having the drive of his life tonight here in this car. Oh, Davis up in the outside wall. Carrington's going to go by. Rogers going to go by. Now, one thing I do know about this track, and this has always been interesting, it seems like after a caution comes out on newer tires, they do seem to kind of get a cycle on them and not as fast. And I bring that up because here's, oh, Heller getting free into the corner there. That was a slide. Oh, and he's still trying to correct it. And around goes to 49. There's your next caution. Likely, maybe. I thought so, and I'm wrong. Story of my life. Usually that's a caution. But here come your fresh tires back behind Weeks. Heller on pit road, so tough break for the 8 car. Nine laps to go. Whitley at 3/10. Weeks trying to get to him. You can see the cars on entry being loose. You see the... Oh, and around goes Carrington! Third and fourth have crashed. Rogers gets a good run. He just gets in the back of Carrington there. Rogers ends up towing back to the pits, I think, here. Carrington trying to get back going there. Wow. Oh, never mind. He just blinked out. I thought he had... It's Bristol, baby. Now, here's the problem. Davis Warren stuck in a box. He can't pit. So he's going to have the older and more disadvantaged tires there the rest of the way in the 70. What a wild night it has been. Appreciate all the viewers for watching tonight. I've been entertained by the race. I mean, if you didn't expect there to be cautions tonight, then you don't know what you were looking forward to, because that's what Bristol does here. This is... I've had talks with different leagues that I've broadcasted here. They're like, man, we can't go back to Bristol ever again. I'm like, dude, you got to separate Bristol from, like, short track racing. It's its own entity. It brings its own thing, if you will, or I don't even know the right word to use there. You're going to have cautions. You're going to have wrecks. You're going to have racing. But the fact of the matter is, people love Bristol. People love this track, and leagues love running it. And you just have to accept you're going to have what you have when you come here. That's why I said earlier at the intro of the broadcast, leave everything outside this racetrack. Pick it up at the gate at the end. Again, Twin Ring Motegi, or Mobility Resort Motegi, next week for round number 8. Right now, we got to survive Bristol and what is going to be an actual green, white checker. We have not hit the number yet, but we're going to have 2 laps to go, literally, when we get the green. Whitley takes the top side again. He's got Mike Husby with him on his outside. Matthew Weeks with the 45 of Austin Bloom behind them. The newest car with tires now is Isabella in 11th as we go back green. As they come off turn 4, can he get back to the white flag? They do. Final lap. As Mark Whitley going to put on a dominant performance, leading the most laps tonight and score himself a victory at Bristol in his 3rd win in 4 races. As Whitley has won it. The Volunteer 250, and I'm not happy my camera didn't switch back. As Whitley burns it down. As he goes to victory lane and as Weeks tries to get to him here. I want to get you guys the actual finisher of the race here. Weeks tries to get to the bottom side there and Weeks getting to the checkered flag and taking the win. By 0.4 of a second over Matthew Weeks. Husby gets 3rd. Austin Bloom. I think that might be a league best finish for him. As we throw the results up here on the screen. Dylan Rosenberg, I believe, has a best finish for the league here in 5th. Chris Lewis might have a best finish in the series. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He finished 2nd at Daytona. Hello, Scala. Kyle Ethier 7th. Stephen Miles 8th. Vincent Isabella. Zach Rogers, your top 10. That's the funniest thing I've heard right there. Good one, Ryan. Cassidy 11th. Davis Warren 12th. Carrington 13th. Jordan Owens 14th. And Nick Leo finishes in the 15th position. Heller finishes 16th. Kyle Hall 17th. Mike Mallon 18th. Jackson Van Pelt and Steve Melnick finishes 20th. Craig Martin, Justin Ray, Nick Terrell 23rd. Jonathan Smith and Matt Telder 24th and 25th. Colin Kurtlis, Jake Vanowski, Josh Gagnon, Stephen Henning, Brad Delf, Josh Dillon, and Steve Ritter wasn't able to start the 32-car race here tonight at Bristol. As Whitley goes to victory lane and Mike Husby gets himself a top 3 finish. As we bring the driver of the 19 up here to join us. Mike, great job, man, finishing in the 3rd position. You did exactly what you said you needed to do. Keep that car clean and brought it home safe.
Absolutely. It was, well, I saw like my opportunity there on that green, white checkered, so there was no way I wasn't going to take it. And thankfully, Austin raced me clean there. There was no dirty drivings by either one of us, so it was pretty awesome to pull off a podium.
Nobody does that in this league. Nah, man, that's obviously great to see, kind of maybe breaking that bad luck as you get through this race. But talk about the racing. Obviously, the first, you've been around the series for a while, if not since the beginning. First time here at Bristol. Did it exceed expectations? Were you kind of like, okay, this is about what I thought we would see? What's your thoughts there?
I absolutely did not see a green flag pit stop in the... Like, I didn't expect that to happen at all, so that was pretty wild. I actually thought I got screwed over on that because I went 2 laps down, and thankfully through cautions that came shortly after that, I got 2 waiver rounds, so that really saved us, or we were going to be kind of messed over right in the middle of the race. But yeah, no, it definitely exceeded my expectations for sure.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations, and send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
Yeah, thanks. It was. I just want to thank everybody for watching. A coworker of mine, Dave, who watches my races every Friday. So thanks for watching, and you obviously for putting on this broadcast, and then obviously All American for putting on this great league, and Casey.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week in Japan.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, buddy. As Mike Husby finishing in the third position tonight there, for CX2. Congratulations to him on that. And backing up his win last week at Texas Motor Speedway, he finishes second, just short here tonight in Bristol. And Matthew, the one thing that I seem to always be able to take notes of here from this track, and it seemed to happen to you tonight, is when you get fresh tires on your car, they work until the next caution. And it's like they shut off, and you're right back to even with the leader.
Yeah, and plus I didn't have fuel in it too, so I was even way tighter than I was, so I was just struggling.
But still a great race for you tonight, man. Good comeback to finish second after the wildness of mid-race.
Yeah, I killed my tires too bad in that long run when we had the green flag stop. I think I was at like 19% on the right front.
Rip.
And I was like, and I was struggling, so, and then that caution come out, and I thought my race was done there because it was showing me I was 2 laps down, and then luckily I got a wave around, and then I think the next caution I got another wave around, and then I just luckily got one lucky dog, and then the craziness began, and I have to apologize to Nick. I was coming, I was ripping the outside, and he was on the bottom, and I think, well, I forget what corner it was. I think it was the exit of 4, and I had the run, and he slid up, and I tried to lift and tap the brake not to hit him, and I just got him, and I turned him, and I tried to tell him I was sorry in the race, but he left, so I apologize. I ruined his night. I felt bad after that.
Is that one of those deals, because I know exactly what you're talking about, is that one of those deals where, you know, Nick's obviously the bottom car, and I mean, do you kind of peek in the mirror and see, did you get the run and kind of leave you the gap there? Or is that one of those where you feel like you should have to check up? Because in the end, you don't want to hurt yourself either.
It's hard to tell because me in that position, if I see a guy right there and he's ripping the outside, he's going to have the run on exit. So
Right.
I know not to go all the way up there, and just, especially in these cars, you do that, that dude's just going to wreck you 10 times out of 10 with this car. But it's just a thing, and I thought he was going to stay low because he's seen me, but I guess, I guess not. I don't know. I haven't talked to him yet, but I just wanted to put out there that I apologize to him. And yeah, when you see people ripping that outside, they're trying to go. So in my defense, I try to let people just rip that outside and go if I'm staying down there.
Well, obviously, and accidents happen. We all know it's Bristol. I mean, come on. Great job tonight. Still finishing second. Another good points night. And send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
Yeah, I needed that. And first time I think racing this car here. I don't think I've ever raced it, so finished where I did. That's great. Shout out to JD Designs who made this scheme. It's going to be going away soon. I got a new scheme coming. So Mountain Dew's going bye-bye. Shout out to you, Chris. I tell you all the time, man, you do a hell of a job, dude. And Casey with the league and all the guys. We had a good run tonight, so this was a really good Bristol race. So shout out to everyone that raced tonight, everyone that watched, and once again, I apologize to Nick, man. I just feel bad when I wreck somebody. I hate doing that, so I apologize so much to him, and I'm gonna send him a message here again and let him know for real.
If you're out of Doritos in your local hometown, Matthew Weeks has probably went bottom. So, congrats on your second place, man, and we'll see you next week in Japan.
Oh, it's Motegi next week?
Hey,
Let's
Motegi.
go. All right, man.
All right, buddy. Matthew Weeks finishing in the second position tonight. Loves all kind of music. He's probably going to go listen to Jackson Brown now. I don't know.
You have a good one, man.
You too, buddy. Finishing in the second position here this evening. That was the first group that came to my head. Now I can't even move them. Anyways, there we go. As let's get our winner down here. Mark Whitley, of course, getting his third win in 4 races. And dominant style here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. All the different strategies that were going on, Mark. And obviously for a while it looked like maybe they could get to you, but then it was like a caution would come out. And for some reason here at Bristol, on newer tires, they seem to even out after you get a caution.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they even out. It's just that the older tires, we get a chance to cool them off and just cool them back down. And for 5-10 laps, I wouldn't say as good as brand new tires, but they're good enough that if you can put your car in the right spots, that it'll make it hard to pass. And that's just kind of what I did with Matthew there at the end of the race. I knew he was on fresh tires. I was really worried about it, and I was running the bottom all race. That's where I felt most comfortable, was the bottom. I felt like I had the most speed down there, but he started running the top and he was getting to me. So I'm like, all right, I can't let him just have the top. So I started trying to run the middle top. And I kind of found something there in the middle. I was getting able to rotate and I could just stab the gas and just go. And it was rotating pretty good. So he was slowly inching up on me. Then we get that last caution there, like 5 to go. And I was kind of happy to see it because I knew it was just going to be a green, white checker probably to start. And it's really difficult here to pass the car in just 2 laps, especially, like I said, once the tires cooled off like that, especially for the first 2 or 3 laps, it was maybe, half a tenth, maybe difference on new tires and old, depending on how old they were. So, and my tires, they like laps wise, they were kind of old, but we kept getting those cautions. So I never really had that much more green flag laps on them. So it just kind of worked out. And I'm just glad it was a short run there at the end, because if it had been any much longer, we probably wouldn't have been in victory lane. That's for sure. I was telling Matthew, I was kind of cruising up there just trying to take care of my tires, and all of a sudden he's in my rear view and I had to get up on the wheel and wheel that thing. It was, he definitely gave me a run for my money there at the end. And, it's always a hell of a competitor. Me and him have had, some hell of a battles here the last couple of seasons. I know sometimes we've wound up on the record because of it, but, it's just hard racing sometimes. And just glad. Seems like this season specifically, we either win the race or we get wrecked out. So
Right.
hopefully we can change that narrative. Maybe it might be the only time I'm good with not winning, if next week we can not win and not wreck. So so far 3 wins and 3 wrecks, I think. So yeah, I just wanted to, wins are great, but I don't want to have 10 DNFs either this season. So hopefully we can get a little bit more consistency this season, and maybe we can go and try to get a back-to-back championship.
Well, as I look at this now, you get your 16th career win tonight in 34 starts, so you're only 2 behind the all-time record here for wins in this series already.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Who holds the record?
A guy named John. Let's call him John Eckert. Is his name.
Oh,
Guy
I've
dominated
heard
like the
of him
first 2
before.
series. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
we'll see.
Seasons.
Well, the long season, maybe we can. I don't want to try to set any goals. That'd be a hell of a thing to break this season, but I just want to get some more consistency right now.
Obviously, yeah, no, but great job here, and to be able to have a 45 entering this race tonight, you had a 45% win, and that win percentage. Now it's going to probably get up there near 50 because you're 16 of 34, which is right at 50 almost. So, still, man, great effort and great job, obviously, to get 3 wins in 4 seasons or 4 races, I should say, and obviously continuing that hot streak as you go to Japan next week.
Oh, yeah, sounds good. That sounds great, but that second win there at Pocono, that was nothing about that I did. That was just being in the right spot at the right time. But I'll take it. And going to Japan, I've run that track a couple times. Should be interesting with these cars. I've never run it there with this car, so I think everybody's gonna be on even playing field next week, because I don't know if anybody, if they have, it has maybe been one time run there. So I think it's gonna be a pretty interesting race next week. Might see some different faces up in the top 5. Hopefully we can continue this and just not finish on the record. That's my goal for next week.
There you go, man. Well, great job tonight. Send some shout-outs whoever you like to.
Big shout out to my granddad. He's tuning in these broadcaster races. He's having some health issues lately, but I know hopefully he can keep it up. Keep up the road to recovery and be back strong to his normal self. Shout out to my parents for tuning in too. I think they're tuning in too. If not, they'll catch the replay in the morning. So appreciate them watching. Shout out to the league. We had 11 cautions, but for 250 laps at Bristol, I thought it was a really good race, really good and clean. We had a lot of green flag runs, and so we had a couple back to back there. But it's just kind of this track, especially with this car. This car is like a wedge. You touch somebody, it's just sends you for a loop. There's no saving if you get hit in the rear. So hell of a race all around. I know Casey's been stressing out the last few weeks, hasn't been up to his standard, but hopefully this one was a little bit better for him. Shout out for you putting on a broadcast. It should be fun to go back and watch. Hopefully it's a little bit less stressful to watch than it was in the car. And I guess one last shout out to my teammate. He was just having any kind of bad luck you could have this race. He had it, and then like he got ran over by somebody earlier in the race, and he had pit road exit issues, and just he just had a rough night. And hopefully he can turn around next week and come back out here and get a good solid finish.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, great job. Congratulations again, and we'll see you across the pond.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. That is Mark Whitley, the winner here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway, and want to add all the best to obviously his family there with the health issues there. I think he was mentioned his grandfather there, so hopefully for the best there. All right. 11 cautions at Bristol. Like I said just a few minutes ago, that is part of the deal here. It'd be different if there were 25 cautions in a 250-lap race. That would be one every 10 laps. But no, I think this was a fantastic race. There was strategy everywhere. Yeah, there were some avoidable wrecks in the race, people running people over and that kind of thing. That's going to happen, though, when you have a half-mile track that you're running in 14 seconds on progressive banking. You're going to get that kind of stuff. So nothing for anybody to hang their hat over here this evening. Some fantastic racing. So, again, next week it is the Mobility Resort Motegi. Will be the 8th race on the schedule. We'll have it for you next Friday night at 8:15 Eastern Time over in the Land of the Rising Sun. So looking forward to that. Our next league broadcast is, guess where? Right back here at Bristol on Sunday night. Make sure you join us at 8:30 or 8:15 Eastern Time. We'll be on the air and get going at 8:30. But Sunday and Monday night, right here at Bristol. Looking forward to more of that kind of racing. So it's been a lot of fun. Big shout out to Harpoon Design for sponsoring the league. Big shout out to the viewers for watching tonight. Good turnout here this evening, over 20 viewers. I appreciate that. Casey Carrington for allowing us to broadcast each and every race here throughout the season. All the drivers, and hopefully everybody keeps their heads up and move on to another week and start fresh. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and happy St. Paddy's Day, by the way, coming up Sunday. And don't do anything stupid. Let's just put it out there like that. This is just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.
copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.